Hey guys, welcome back to WiseKracks Special Edition. Jon Orlando and I over here at Circa. We have some great special guests. We've had George Martorano on before, got 50,000 views on YouTube, and we brought him back on here. George is back in town. Also bringing on my good buddy, Al Scalleat, owns Dom DeMarcos Pizzeria on Charleston. Great pizza place, old school, packed. I was there on Friday night with George. I hate to admit this. We couldn't get a seat. George, yeah, Friday night, I didn't know, I hate to say it, I didn't know it was going to be that packed. It's the summertime, so summertime is the time that any locals leave town on vacation. John, we couldn't get a spot. Yeah, we had to eat in the kitchen. Yeah,
I must have missed the invite.
I got to be honest with you, John. Like I said, I don't want to do this on camera in front of our old school guys here. You usually don't want to hang out with me because John's got the upper echelon.
This guy.
You know, he's got like real high-end people that I try to invite him to dinner. I go to like good, nice restaurants. He did come to Carbone last time. John's one of the guys that I talked about. John orders food to go. So it's my comp.
Wait a minute.
He knows I'm paying. And he said, well, let me get my girl. I think you got her a full meal and a dessert.
I did.
It's all right. It's no big deal. I paid.
Wait,
it's okay. Listen, John, I know your dad doesn't do stuff like that. That's the main thing. So, anyway, it's not a big deal to go. And give me a slice of pie to go to. I talked about him on the show. He doesn't even know it was him. But anyway, so I want to let's see what's going on in these guys. First, I want to start with Albert. So, Albert, how long have you been in this pizza business? How long?
60 years. I opened my first pizzeria in 1966 in Fresno, California.
Okay, and wait a minute. But you're from back home. What are you doing in Fresno?
I went to Fresno to get my master's degree. And while I was there was a guy who had a pizzeria. He had just opened it. He was from New York. He was right across the street from the college. So I used to go in there every day and BS with him. He was a real nice guy. And he said to me, my wife hates California. She misses the season, she misses her family. I got to sell this place. He said, I'm trying to get 85,000. That's what I have in it. Well, in those days, 1966, 85,000, to me, forget about it and have 2 cents. So I said to the guy, well, good luck. A couple months later, I go back in there. Well, not a couple months. I used to go in there almost every night. But in a couple months, he said to me, boy, my wife said she's going to divorce me if I don't move back home. He said, I got to sell this place. I got to get 35,000. 35, 85, the same to me, and have 2 cents. A couple of weeks go by, I go in, and he said, she told me she's giving me 2 weeks, I got to be back. He said, if I could get somebody to take over the lease. I said, how much is that lease? So I took over the lease. That was my first pizza. But I knew how to make pizza because my aunt Sue had a restaurant in Allentown, Pennsylvania from the 50s. And I used to go there and wash dishes and everything, but I learned how to make pizza there. So when I took over the place, I already knew how to make pizza.
And Albert, tell people where you're actually from. What town are you from?
Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
Now, are they known for good pizza in Hazleton?
Not necessarily. You have great Italian food. You could go a half-hour away to Old Forge, and they're known for pizza.
Old Forge, they're self-proclaimed pizza capital. I like the square pies. I've been to Old Forge many times, at Caro and Janelle's and some other place there.
Yes.
I've been there. It's more of a Sicilian. I don't know. Is that Sicilian or no, Albert?
It's like a Sicilian.
Right.
It's their own invention.
You have a pie right now. I don't think it's on the menu yet. You're calling it a tomato pie.
Correct.
It's a thick pie.
I'll tell you what, I love this pie. The reason I call it a tomato pie is because we use the most expensive yellow and red tomatoes you could get, and what a taste. And on our dough, it's a thicker dough with this tomato and our ingredients that we put in it. I love it. It's the best pizza I ever had in my life.
I love it. I love it. It's a great pizza. It really is great. But you were also known because of Dom DeMarcos. You knew Dom, but you actually went there and you studied under Dom DeMarco, the famous Brooklyn pizza place in New York. The Farrah.
The Farrah pizza. I had never heard of the Farrah pizza until 2004. My son-in-law and I, Jeff Lepore, we were getting ready to open a hotel on Town Center in the 215 here in Las Vegas. And we were in White Plains, New York, talking to these guys about hotels, I'm sorry. And when we got done, we started talking about pizza like we usually do. And the guy said, we have a pizza place here in Brooklyn called the Farah Pizza. It's the best. We got to take you there. And I said to the guy, well, my favorite pizza is Di Lorenzo's tomato pie in Trenton, New Jersey. And it's still one of my all-time favorites. He said, we got to take you to the Farah. So they take us to the Farah. I tasted the pizza. I fell in love with it. I said to the girl behind the counter, I said, I'm a retired pizza guy living in Vegas. I'd love to bring this pizza to Vegas. And real cocky, she said to me, my father gets offers from the suits on Wall Street all day long. We're not interested in doing business with anybody. She walked away, left me standing there.
Wow.
This was in 2004. So every month we went back to White Plains, we went to the Farah. And every month she'd, oh, you again? She was a real pain in the ass, to tell you the truth. So one day she said to me, I'm going to introduce you to my brother. He calls the shots around here. She introduced me to her brother, Dominic. And for a minute, I was happy. And then when I got talking to him, I said to her, you led me from the frying pan you to the fire him, he's worse than you. So in 2008, we opened a hotel. Now I got cards with my name on. So we go to White Plains, we come back, we go to Brooklyn. And as we're walking in, I said to my son, I said, I got a different approach tonight. So we go in there, and I said to Dominic Jr., I said, come here. And I gave him the card. I said, we just opened this hotel in Vegas. It's not a casino, but it's a beautiful hotel. I want to invite you and the whole family, come and stay. As long as you want, you be my guest. And he put the card in his pocket, and he said to me, why would I want to go to Las Vegas? I got everything I want right here on my street. I don't even own a car. I don't need a car. Everything's on my street. And he turns around and he walks away. I wanted to punch him in the face. But anyway, I went back to my son. I said, let's get out of here. We're not eating tonight. About 2 weeks go by. I get a phone call. I look on my phone. It's area 718. I said, the only guy I know in area 718 is Dom DeMarco. So I picked up the phone and I answered it real cocky. I said, hello. He said, hey, Al, how you doing? I said, who's this? He said, Dominic. I said, Dominic who? He said, from the fair. I said, yeah, what do you want? He said, listen. He said, I went home. I gave that card to my wife. I didn't know she watches all these shows about Las Vegas. Now she wants to come to Vegas. Does the offer still stand? I said, well, you got to bring your father. He said, listen. He said, my father, he came here in 57 from Caserta, Italy. He said he left 14 times. He left Brooklyn, always to fly back to New York, to Italy, to Caserta. He said he's not coming. So anyway, long story short, Junior came with his wife. He stayed for a week. At the end of the week, he said to me, look, he said, the reason we never did anything with anybody is because we get everything from Italy. All our ingredients are imported. They're very expensive. He said, my father's brother works in the cheese plant in Caserta where they make the buffalo mozz. He said his cousin works in the tomato factory. He said, we get everything. My father said, nobody will do it. They'll ruin our reputation. He said, I know you guys will do it, not I think. He said, I'm going to talk to him. He said, but he's got the last word. So he goes back to New York. He calls me. He says, my father says, come on a Sunday. Because over there on Monday and Tuesday, they were closed. And then Wednesday to Sunday, they're open noon to 4. Then they close from 4 to 6. The old man's got to take a siesta. Wow. And then they open 6 to 8, or 6 to 9, I'm sorry.
That's amazing.
So anyway, we go on a Sunday. We go back Monday. We meet with him and his father. Now we go in here in the morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. They're drinking wine. Wine mixed with Coca-Cola and ice. So here I am, 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't even drink, but I didn't want to embarrass the guy, right? So now I'm drinking wine. It's 9 in the morning. Well, by 10, I feel my face getting red. I'm starting to sweat. Anyway, he said to me, "Queste paese?" Well, I knew what he meant. Where you come from in Italy. So I remember when I was a kid, the letters from Italy, airmail, they used to come every Friday. And they were red and white on the envelope, and with the return address said, Fria di Cendra, Provincia di Salerno. So when he asked me where I was from, I said, Fria di Cendra, Provincia di Salerno. And he starts laughing. I said, why are you laughing? And he said, I was in the Italian army, a 2-year over there. He said, good people, good people. An hour later, we shook hands. We made a deal. That was in 2008. We never signed a paper, a handshake. He lived up to his word, I lived up to my word, and we're here now. It's, what, 2026?
That's a great story.
Handshake deal.
True story.
Unbelievable.
Handshake.
The other impressive thing I heard in that story was In '04, you were opening a hotel on Town Center Drive?
Yeah, it's still there. It's called The Element. We opened it in 2008 and we sold it in 2014, but it's still there. It's a great hotel.
But in '04, I feel like that whole side of town what was there?
Oh no, it was coming along.
Was Red Rock already there?
Yeah.
Casino? Yeah.
Red Rock opened in '06.
Okay.
I started coming to Vegas in '66. I came in September. Caesars opened in August. I stayed at Caesars for a month for free. But I'm not going to get into that story. But anyway, at that time in '66, there was nothing past Decatur. And then as the years went by, there was nothing past Rainbow.
Wow.
In '88, I bought a house in Painted Desert. So when we used to be in the casinos all night long. When we would leave the strip to go to the place in Painted Desert, when we went past Rainbow, there was nothing until you got up there. And then there was the Santa Fe on the right. But that's how much Vegas has grown.
It's incredible.
So the original, the Farrah is still there. It's Avenue J in Midwood. It's in Brooklyn. Real famous place for people that, like he said, people don't leave the neighborhood. They don't have cars. You know, back when we were kids, you don't have cars. You use the public transportation or you walk.
Right.
That's it. And if you live in the city or Brooklyn or one of the boroughs like that, that has everything around you. So let me ask you, are you using that same, because you make a pie, your crust is just unbelievable, your sauce. Are you using the Farrah recipes where you're actually using the products they used?
Absolutely. We still to this day. Now, Nate Caputo in Chicago is my cousin, and he's got delicious cheese, you know, Caputo cheese. Everybody knows it. A lot of people use it. I can't use it because Dominic used polio, and I told him I don't want somebody to go to Brooklyn at the fairs and have a pizza and then come the next week to Dom's and say, oh, this isn't the same. It has to be the same. So we still use everything, and it costs me a lot of money to get it. Now here in Brooklyn, everything comes to Brooklyn. Over here, if it's coming from Italy, it goes to Miami. From Miami, it goes to Chicago. From Chicago, it goes to Phoenix. From Phoenix, it comes to me.
Wow.
And that costs money. But I do it because I want it to be the same as Dom DeMarcos.
And I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
I don't understand the happy hour. Like, why do you? I was just there with George Friday night. You couldn't move. What's the purpose? You get 50% off the. Tell them what you do in the hours that you do this and the days you do it on.
I'm going to tell you the whole story, how it even came about. It was in 2013, and we would get real busy for lunch. And then about 1:30, 2 o'clock it would die, and we wouldn't get busy till 5. So about 3 o'clock, an older couple comes in. Now there's nobody in the restaurant except the help and me. And the husband's looking at the menu, and the wife grabs him by the shoulder, and she said to me, I don't want to eat here, there's no customers. And they turned around and they walked out. So I called the manager over and I told him what happened. I said, I don't like this. I said, I got to do something. Well, a week later, I come up with the happy hour. I said, from 2 to 4 from now on, every pizza in the joint's going to be half price. And then I said, no.
50% pizza, 2 to 4.
Incredible.
Yeah, not only pizza, beer, wine, liquor, everything, half price, 2 to 4.
And every day?
Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday, 2 to 4, half price.
Oh, half price.
And did Portnoy? Now Dave Portnoy came over and gave you guys a great review, right?
He gave us the highest score in Vegas. Now that's another story. Another story. He gave us a 7.9.
Wow.
That's a big score.
What's
From
the
Dave
highest?
Portnoy, that's a huge
It's the
score.
Wait a minute. Now listen. It's the highest score he ever gave anybody in Vegas. However, in Brooklyn he gave us a 9.4. So when Dave left, I called Dom DeMarco. I said, hey, I don't understand. I said, he said our pizza was thicker. I said, did you change anything since I've been there? Because I went there like 2 weekends a month for a year, for more than a year, for 2 or 3 years, learning how to do everything. So I called, he says, no, he said, we didn't change anything. I said, well, you got to come out here because Portnoy said our pizza was thicker. The next day, he flew out.
Wow.
So now I'm in the office. He's there about 2 hours. He comes walking in the office. He said, I found out the difference. I said, what is it? He said, about 3 years ago, he said, we start stretching our pizza from an 18-inch to a 19. He said, you're still stretching to 18. We stretched it tonight. I said, Jesus Christ. I mean, Portnoy found out. He noticed that much. I mean, that's how sharp the guy is.
1 inch means a lot in a lot of different areas in life. Pizza being one of them. Yeah, that's good to know. No, that's good to know.
So let me tell you about I could tell you so many stories, but I'll tell you 2 stories. Well, when I was working with the old man, you know, he hardly spoke English. So he said to me one day when we were learning how to make the dough, he said, a blind man could make the dough. I said, Dominic, what do you mean a blind man could make the dough? He said, it's all in the field. I need more salt. I need more yeast. I need more water.
Wow.
I said, Dominic, how do you teach somebody that?
It's all in the field, but with the Italians, we all know. My mother, they didn't have recipe cards. They do it by pinch and a thing.
All right, now you say a pinch. We were there, and he said, a pinch of this. I said, Dominic, I can't tell people a pinch or a handful.
Right.
I said, go get the scale. I said, we got to measure it. He didn't have a scale.
Wow.
So I had a guy with us. I sent him out. He bought a new scale. He came back so we could measure everything so I could get the right recipe.
Unbelievable. What is your address there on Charleston?
9785 West Charleston.
It's in the Smith Shopping Center?
It's in the Smith Shopping Center on the corner of Charleston and Wallapai. It's a mile east of Red Rock Station.
2 to 4 p.m. happy hour. And my friends that have Miles to Memory podcast, they rated all the pizzas in town, and they put you right there at the top. So those guys I absolutely love. But now when you go in, I like my pie well done. I can't get a well done pie in this town. Do I come in and I ask for well done, you will get a well done pie?
Absolutely. In fact, we make most of our pies well done.
On the well done.
But when we came here and we opened up, the people from Las Vegas and the people from California, they don't like well done.
Yes, you can't have it.
So we had to adjust a little bit on the time of cooking. But we'll make, one of the things at Dom's, we'll make anything any way you want it. And I want to talk about one more thing, and I won't tie you up too long. Chicken parm.
Yes.
I'm a big...
John loves chicken parm.
My favorite.
All right, I'm a big chicken parm guy.
Yours is phenomenal.
I'm a big chicken parm guy. Now, I go around to all the good restaurants like John and my friend here, Bill, does. And there's some places have really good chicken parm, but I think ours is better. Now, I was in one place, and I'm not mentioning any names, and I had a chicken parm, and it was good, $52. I got a better chicken parm at Dom's for $26.
Yeah.
Half the price.
See, Dom's is only known for pizza because we've been with pizzas, you know, from Dominic, the Farah pizza from '66. But we have great pasta. We got great chicken. Our lasagna is out of this world.
Your penny alla vodka, your alla vodka sauce is unbelievable.
It's fantastic.
One of my favorites.
And now, besides the regular vodka sauce, we're making a hot sauce, a Calabrese, Calabrian rigatoni sauce. And people it's going crazy. Now talk about pizzas. We make all the standard pizzas, and we don't change that. It's all Dom DeMarcos. But you know, we've been there for 16 years now, so we make new things now. I'm going to tell you about some of the new things we're making, which is this tomato pie, which is a thicker pie.
I love it.
And it's out of this world. We make a clam pie. Now Frank Pepe, in 1929, invented the clam pie
New Haven, yeah.
on Wooster Street in New Haven, Connecticut. Now, when I was a kid, in the 40s and the 50s, we had a friend in New Haven. We used to go for 4 weeks every summer. And the guy was a barber. He had a barber shop right next to Pepe's. So we'd hang in the barber shop, then we'd go over to Pepe's for pizza. Now, I make a clam pizza. I say, Frank Pepe invented it, I improved it. If you like clam pizza, you got to come to Dom DeMarcos out of this world.
That's a great pie. It's a white pie.
It's a white pie.
There's no red sauce, so it's white.
Right.
And
the clams are in the shell.
Clams are in it. I love clam pizza too.
It's a delicious pizza.
And I love Wooster Street. I've been on there many times.
Many times.
My favorite two, of course, are Pep. I like Pepe's a little more than Sally's.
Sally, here's something you don't know.
I love Sally's though.
Sally is Pepe's brother-in-law. He worked at Pepe's for years. They had a little argument. They opened up down the street.
I have had a great pizza at Sally's too, though. But Pepe's I like a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Location is unbelievable. That famous street, big park there, Wooster. And it's more than that. There's like 5 pizza places on that block. And a real old school section. Well, great, Albert. I'm glad you came on. And 2 minutes wound up being 20 minutes. That's okay. I love it. We could talk about the old days.
There's a reason why Georgie spends all his days at Dom DeMarco.
Yeah, what is
Because he grew up with good Italian food. His cousin is Steve Martorano, has that famous restaurant, and everybody in Georgie's family, they were great cooks. So he hangs out at Dom's because he gets the food he likes. It's the best.
And I know you give me and John 10% off. That's wonderful. Thanks, Albert. All right, my man George. Let's again. I met George through Albert. Albert has a hot dog thing twice a year where he has all different kind of hot dogs, and that's where I met George. But we put George on our podcast, and like I said, John and I had tons of views, and even some nice shorts. So at the time, we were talking about George did how many years? 30 years?
32 plus years.
32 plus years, and
prison,
5 years in the hole.
Solitary, yeah.
Solitary confinement, the hole. But anyway, you were talking the other day. He said, I said, what are you doing? What have you been doing? I guess, well, I'd like to explain it. So what are you doing now, George? A couple of years later, since we had you on that original. I've had some shorts with you since then, though. But now, what's going on now? You still have the Grow Father? I see. Is it on there?
Yeah.
The Grow Father.
Grow Father.
Okay.
We surpassed, we're manufacturers. We sell to dispensaries in the state of New Jersey. We sell basically to every dispensary, and we basically took the manufacturing industry by creating a good product. Our main goal is not money. We do good product that we won't want to harm anyone. And the Grow Father is selling so much that we were approached by the government. The government, because we have such a good reputation, I have such a good reputation, they want me to administrate cannabis and gummies to the homeless vets. And we're doing a pilot program in the state of Delaware. The reason why about 300 a day in America vets die from bad drugs. And that's not counting the bad drugs that make them more ill, long-term illness. So a guy like me that did 32 years in prison, now the government wants me to help them to solve a problem. We're doing a pilot program, and if it does well, they want me to assist the whole United States.
Wow.
Imagine that.
No, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And so you, Albert and I went to see you at the Mob Museum. You had a nice turnout. Are you still going around giving seminars or speeches or shows? Are you still doing that? You've done a couple of them, right?
Well, I got out of prison in 2015, and I was booked all over the country. Matter of fact, Seattle was my biggest booking. It was called the Seattle Hemp Fest Festival, the third week of August. 250,000 people, 9 stages. I used to come out on stage and be 20, 30,000. They had 9 stages, so I got off to a good start. COVID really hurt that organization. So what we do is basically the reason we're the biggest in Jersey. I do an awful lot of podcasts. I do an awful lot of shows. I do a lot of grit meat. It's just putting good product, and I don't tell a lie. That'll backfire. I do not tell a lie. And now we're going into Massachusetts, we're going into New York, it's just going and on. We're going into Nevada with one of my other brands.
Speaking of other brands, so John has a studio in Boca, right?
Yeah, Boca Raton. Yeah.
Sticky Paws, called Sticky Paws, same thing?
No, it's
Boca,
a Podcast Junkies.
Boca Raton?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Podcast Junkies
Yeah.
in Boca Raton.
Florida, Boca Raton,
That's where
Florida.
Joey films. So,
Right.
The Skinny with Joey Merlino, he films in John's studio there. And you told me, because you're very close to Joey, so are you getting into a Skinny Joey sports bar? Can we talk about that?
So
No.
we already made the moves with the attorneys and everybody to write. We got Joey's so popular that they're actually fighting for him in different townships in Jersey. They're giving us some great offers. We don't know what to do, and we're probably going to. We've got it on the fast track. 12 to 18 months. We'll be opening in South Jersey, Skinny Joey Sports Bar, but it's state of the art. Very classy, very great food, We're going to have snuff. It's going to have his own little snuff and sports book, and we're going to have a stage and this and that. And incidentally, me and Al have been trying to bring Skinny Joe situation here in Vegas, so that's still going on.
Right.
I mean, I think in calculations and the social media, he's hitting worldwide millions a day.
Oh yeah, no,
Millions a day.
That special on Netflix I thought was great. I forget the actual name of it. John, did you see it?
Yeah.
Philadelphia versus.
yeah.
I think it's Philadelphia versus the
Stanford
Mob.
Marina Wars.
I thought it was. I learned things on there. I didn't know a lot. I learned. But by the way, Joey had nothing to do with that. He even said it. I had nothing to do with that. But oh, you were on it. Wait a minute. You were on it.
Yeah, I was in. I had a cameo.
Yeah.
It was a 3-hour special.
Couple times.
We had a cameo. I was a cameo in the first hour.
Yeah.
A bigger cameo in the third hour.
Yeah.
But I told them I was in prison when that all went down.
Right.
So, you know, you never want to be, I just repeated myself, you never want to be caught in a falsehood
Sure.
to the
Sure.
public. So right now I'm shooting another doc. I might bring Joey in on it.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
He's
Yeah.
just
No.
so busy. He's just so busy.
He
right now.
He is now. Let you know, there's a cheesesteak place in town. Because we'll talk about anyone good and bad. And there's a cheesesteak place in town that came here. I thought it was very good. The guy's from South Philly. I think I told you. He supposedly, when I went that day, he was in South Philly.
Me and Al want to go check it out.
I thought it was very good. The meat was great. The cheese was great. They brought Cooper Sharp to Vegas. It's called Shays. But I thought the location was rough. And there's no signage, but yet he's pretty packed. He's getting the word of mouth. But it's in town. Is that called Town Center? It's on the Strip. Town Square. And you have to park and walk by the movie theater. It's kind of a pain to get to. But he's getting his rolls from back home.
Yeah, if we do something here in Vegas, we'll have to have the rolls flow. Matter of fact, we have a meeting right after the show with Mob Museum. For a year now, we're trying to convince them to let's do a Skinny Joey cheesesteak on their property. So we have a meeting right after this. So.
They have one in Wildwood, right, New Jersey?
Oh my God!
Is that on the boardwalk?
Yeah. I mean,
So that means it's only going to be seasonal
it's on
then.
Magnolia and the boardwalk in Wildwood. It's seasonal, but guess what?
Okay, they're going to close then in
Second day.
October or something. Yeah.
By the second day, there's a line around the block.
They're packed. I've seen the videos.
And the money they invested, which is serious money, they already got it back. That's how hot.
Wow.
That's how hot Skinny Joe is.
Wow.
You know, I love him. I was with his dad for many, many years. And Al goes back with me and my family many, many years. So, but we took all that negative stuff and we do nothing but positive.
Probably the greatest thing you said. You took all that negative stuff and got away from that genre and you're doing the you know, you took me to the saloon there, which I've never been to. Well, you and I walked in, you and one of your friends, and I thought that restaurant shocked me. Now, Albert, you've probably been there a million times. Oh, I've never been there. I couldn't believe how good it was. It's right in the middle of nowhere, and it was. And have they been there for 50 years or something? Or?
60 years November.
Unbelievable. So you've been going there since you were a kid.
He lives across the street.
You're right across the
Well,
street.
my
there,
father owned it when I was a little boy.
Right.
And then it turned into a saloon. But the owner is a dear friend of mine, like Al. He used to babysit me.
Wow.
So that's how far we go. His
But
name's Richie.
is it Italian? Does Richie have is that considered an Italian restaurant?
Italian American.
I can't believe the name of the saloon. I would pass it right by on the street. I would say that's a saloon. It's a bar place. You know,
Listen,
someone to get drink.
That place is years ago, before I went to prison. He used to have a pony, and a couple hours a day, he used to tie the pony up in front of the saloon.
You're kidding
A real
me.
Pony,
In
yeah.
South Philly, they got a
Pony in front of the saloon.
wow. One thing we talked about the other day. Was these tomato pies in Trenton, and it's what Albert has is different. It's a thick one. The tomato pie was a thin tomato pie. I think it was pretty thin. And in Trenton, there was a couple of them. Di Lorenzo's. I don't know if they're still even there. You have to tell me.
The Lorenzo's moved out of Trenton. They got two places.
They moved that.
Robbinsville, New Jersey.
Right.
And Yardley, PA.
Okay, so they moved out of there. Have you had the tomato pie?
My take on tomato pie.
Right.
I grew up in a very ethnic neighborhood. We had 3 Italian bakeries, very prominent. Prominent in the old way, not like delivering in other parts of the city, just in our neighborhood. So it was always mom and pop operations. So the father would get up at 2 in the morning and make the dough. And he always had leftover dough.
Right.
That's when he waked up 2 in the morning, he make his dough to go out to the customers. The mother, the leftover dough, she used to come and roll it out. Could be big as this table, roll it out. And then she would go, which she had in her refrigerator, it's always some kind of tomato sauce, whether just plain with meat or fish and whatever. And then us little kids, especially me and my gang, we used to hooky school. If you had a nickel, dime, or a quarter, and you give her a nickel, and she cut a piece. You give her a dime, a bigger quarter, and that's how it was called tomato pie. We never heard the word pizza pie, till years later. We never seen cheese on it. Every day, if you hooky school like me all the time.
Wow.
I was trying to find this bakery. I was trying to do a search on it.
I know the bakery you're talking about.
Good luck putting this in.
It's on 12th Street.
I put bakery in South Philadelphia. 800 of them came up. I put the search into it. There was a bakery there.
On 12th Street, tomato pie. Specialized in tomato pie.
They were so friendly to me. He gave me a tour of the building, a tour of the place. It's been there years. It's right across from, I think it's a Primo Hoagies or some Hoagie sub right there, right next to it. But yeah, 12th Street, and that bakery there. Could it be Kasha's? Is that a bakery? No.
He specializes in tomato pie, but he only makes so many. Especially on Sunday morning, he only makes so many. And you have to be a steady customer. Now, my mother, God rest her soul, and my good buddy, Stevie, every Sunday, he'd get a tomato pie and bring it to my mother. My mother didn't eat pizza pie. She made tomato pie because that's what she was raised on.
I found it. It is Kasha's. That's the street right there, because I've seen that bakery.
Right.
You know where this is at, right?
It's right on the corner of Little Street.
Right next to Primo's. So I was told about this place. It's a bakery, but yet they make all these little thin pizzas. These pizzas. That's it. And basically, you go in, and there's Italian bread, there's pastry, this, that, and then they have, of course, these pizzas, which I thought were great. And I was like, the guy's like, please try a cheesesteak on a pizza. I was like, I don't know about that. It was great.
Yeah,
it was a cheesesteak on a pizza, and you could see that one in the middle of the cheesesteak.
Yeah.
And it was just a great, but I'd never seen that before in my life. Only in Philadelphia, only in South Philly. And bakeries are making these tomato pies. So I thought that was really interesting.
Even in all those years in prison, we had pizza once a week.
How'd you get that?
Well, the kitchen made the pizza.
Oh, they did?
They
allowed
made
you to have it?
And I used to, of course, have a lot of respect as the years went by. I used to go in the kitchen and tell them, listen, all right, make the pizza, but put aside, make me and they're big pans, but make me a tomato pie. What do you mean? Don't put no cheese, nothing on, just tomato pie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even in prison, yeah.
You told a story about prison, and you told a story about Tony Salerno, Fat Tony. I never knew you knew him. He was
know him since I
supposedly.
was.
Go ahead.
My father was my driver for my godfather, Angelo Bruno, was the boss for 22 years.
Right.
And I had just 16. I just got and I finagled with Potomkin Chevrolet. They were friends of my godfather and my father. I finagled a brand new Camaro, brand new Camaro. And my father at that time went away for contempt. He had to do a year. So I'm 16 years old. I used to work at the vending company. I got a brand new Camaro. My godfather calls me, come and see me. And I said, what's up? He said, you got to drive me. I go, what do you mean? You have to drive me. He was very wise, a lot of wisdom. He said, if I get another guy to drive me around, one of our friends, and your father comes home, I got to tell that gentleman Raymond's back. It seems like it causes bad blood. So I got to try it. So he, at that time, he went to New York every 2 weeks. And he always went to 100 and, I think Fat Tony was on 125th Street,
Like Palmer
Harlem.
Boys or something, like social club?
And I used to go there, and they would sit there. So I knew Fat Tony from a little boy, till he passed. I mean, I was with him in prison with the commission case, and but I used to disappear.
Yeah.
They were over there talking this whole and I used to disappear, and that time Harlem was all black, but for some reason.
Palmer Boys.
Nobody bothered me, and funny story. They wanted a message delivered. Tony was the boss, but Chin was the underboss. They wanted a message delivered to him. Now, he's on the west side, and what the hell his area? What was his area? The Chin.
Was that Harlem?
Greenwich Village.
Oh, Greenwich Village, yeah.
The village.
So I go to the west side of Greenwich Village, right? And I was 16 years old. So I go in one building and you go down in the basement, and there was a tunnel, elaborate, that went through 5, 6 buildings. I finally found him. He's in a basement of one of these buildings. I'll never forget, he's got a robe on, and he's got his foot up on the desk with a butcher knife, and he's carving his toes. So I give the message. I don't know what the message went. I give the message, and I said, all right, I'm going to go, Chin. You cannot go. I said, what do you mean? He had a roll-top desk where his foot was, he was carving, and he had the Blessed Mother Saint on top of the desk. He said, you have to say a prayer for me. She'll listen to you. You're innocent. These other guys that come down here, she ain't listening. So I said the Hail Mary. Got up, kissed me, so I'll think, you know how I'm important. So I'm saying to myself, let me get out of here. And I go through the elaborate tunnelway, and that was the life.
So I never knew this. Now, I love those old movies and stories and documentaries. So Fat Tony Solano was the boss, and Vincent the Chin Gigante was underneath him?
Yeah, at that
I did
time.
not know that.
At that
okay,
time.
then when Tony died, went away, died, then Chin became the boss.
Well, no, Tony, he knew when he got 3 indictments, back-to-back indictments. So he said, well, I'm fighting for my life. I don't have, so Chin took it all.
And a movie that has grown on me, that at first I was expecting more, but now it's grown on me. I love watching the old school scenes of The Irishman. I know a lot of it's fictional, maybe the results, maybe it wasn't that guy that killed. I understand that maybe he didn't kill Hoffa, but I think Joe Pesci, Russell Buffalino, did an unbelievable Russell Buffalino. I love that, but Tony was in jail with him at the end, Fat Tony at the end. They were playing, was that Bocce they were playing at the end?
Frank Sheeran, the okay to write the book. We were all Al knows the story, we were all in Springfield, Illinois. I've been in Springfield twice. The first time was brutal. They had me in a criminal insane unit, tried to kill me. Brutal. The second time I wind up, sometimes when you go from point A to point B in prisons, you get pulled aside. I'm doing life, no parole, so to strap me off at some place and keep me 6 months was no big deal. So I was there, and Springfield, it was a big facility, 20-something hundred. And they had a gym, and they had a foyer going into the gym. And that's where all the mob guys hung out after lunch. They would hang out from about 1 to 3 and just talk. And I would go check on them, see what they needed. Frank Sheeran to be there in a wheelchair, Fat Tony be in a wheelchair, wow. Tony Ducks be in a wheelchair, Tom Mix be in a wheelchair, Jerry and Julie's brother Frank.
Jesus.
They were all in a wheelchair.
Oh my God.
So prior to that, Frank, I knew Frank years on the street. He hung in my neighborhood. So he says, I got an offer to write a book. I need money. I have a daughter that I want to take care of. They're going to give me X amount of dollars if I write 3 chapters. Give me the okay. I said, all right, I'm going to go ask, but you're going to get shot down. I knew that.
Sure.
So I go ask them, the crew, all mob bosses. I said, no. I said, okay. I said, all right, Frank. As I knew Frank, I said, well, let's wait a couple weeks go by. A couple weeks went by. I said, listen, this guy, he's hurting for money. He just needs his food to help raise his daughter. But then I got a little voice, because I could raise my voice because I knew I had a lot of history. I said, wait a minute. You got a room full of money. You got a basement full of money. You got a house full of money. If you don't want the guy to earn it, break him off. That's how you get these guys, because now they ain't going in their pocket. They ain't going to pocket. They say, oh, well, okay, as long as he don't hurt nobody. So I got him the okay, but I tell you the truth, Billy, I never thought that his hands were big as this.
Really?
And
Frank Sheeran.
I didn't think, and he's got this little typewriter. I never thought his
Fingers.
I never thought he did. Anyway, he banged it out, and that's how he got to make the book, We Paint Houses. I did that for him.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that.
I
This is
did
live
that
on
for
air. I
him.
didn't know about that. I just know
Well,
that the
they-
movie grew
they-
on me, though.
The book sat for years. No, when the book came out, Robert De Niro optioned it right away.
Right.
And it took years before they made it into the movie. But Robert De Niro did option the book. I don't know.
I heard you paint houses. That's the name of the book, I believe.
We Paint Houses.
Oh, We Paint Houses. Now, you've seen the movie obviously a couple times. I've seen the movie so many times. I'll watch it in the background. I watch the same 25 to 50 movies over and over again. It's hard for me to watch something new. I always tell John, like, we'll have rounders on or something in the background. Because we know all the scenes to the movies, we can multitask, go on our phone, do other things. We know what's going on. But that's one of those movies that is, at first, it was just okay. It grew on me. The movie grew on me. I love the old scenes. I think the scenes when they had, when Frank Sheeran was at this big thing for him, they gave him, they put him they gave him a nice ring, and they gave this big ceremony for him in the movie. Those scenes when the Joe Pesci character, Russell Buffalino, talking to Frank Sheeran, talking to Al Pacino, who played Jimmy Hoffa, I love those scenes. Some people, not me, think that you're not showing appreciation. I love those scenes, those words. He did a great job, but how fictional was it compared to the truth? All the old school guys says he didn't
Who
kill
knows the
Hoffa.
truth? Who knows
Right.
the truth? I know Russell very well. I was in Leavenworth with him. He lived right next door with my co-defendant. I know him for years. But who really knows the truth? Who knows? Because and back then, when me and Al, I'm paying attention to that life anymore. But
Right.
even if you know the truth, it evaporates.
Oh, right.
It
Right, I got you.
evaporates.
I got
Simple
you.
as that.
I thought it was.
Evaporates.
Now, if you had to name a favorite movie, what would it be, though?
And mob gender?
Of anything, your favorite movie? Mine's like Casablanca, and of course The Godfather. I mean, what would be?
I like comedies.
Oh, you like comedies?
We like comedies.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, we love comedies.
Okay.
You got to watch the movie The Cobbler with Adam Sandler.
Good.
Oh my God.
Well, Adam Sandler is friends with Jon Orlando and Tony Orlando.
Got to watch The Cobbler. yeah.
Tony was in one of his movies.
Yeah, that's my boy.
That's my boy.
Two
Yeah.
of his movies, and Sandy Wexler.
Oh, yeah, and then so is that a new one? Is that a new movie or an old one?
It was a few years ago.
I can't watch comedy now. I can't. Like I can watch Caddyshack maybe or so. It's hard for me to
It's
watch
hard.
comedy though. It's
I'm
really
shooting
hard.
a doc as we speak right now, my new documentary.
Okay.
I don't have a title for it. We're shooting
Okay.
in Philly with NPR.
All right.
NPR Studios, which is national. We're shooting with that.
Anything else to promote? Anything you want to promote? Anything going on that
My
people could see?
song. I sent you my song.
Yes, he
didn't
did. He did.
I? Well, I saved my voice for my latter years in life
Right.
because I'm giving a message.
Weren't you on? You had this. This was on a couple of radio stations already.
Yeah, I'm sending a message that your life's never over. There's always something new around the corner. So I'm singing now. I'm working on my second song.
Nice. Nice.
The first song is Freedom. And it feels like I'm singing to a woman, but I'm singing to emotion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get a copy by people like Jelly Roll, or John Legend, something like that.
What are you doing out here? By the way, what are you doing in Vegas? You just stop by?
No, me and Al do an awful lot of legitimate things, meetings. We come out, we have meetings all day long.
No, I didn't know. No. I don't mean here at the circle with me. I mean, you flew out to Vegas for any specific reason? Are you looking to get into maybe a Joey's Cheesesteaks here? I know you're.
Yeah, we're working on that. I'm fortunate enough to develop friendships, and when I'm in town, I've been in town to the 20th. I have people coming in from LA. I have people coming in from Scottsdale, et cetera, et cetera. I got people coming in actually from the East Coast. They like to hang out. And I always bring them to Dom's.
We went to dinner the other night, and I'm going to drive him back. He says, no, I don't want to get, it's 114 degrees at 6:30. He says, he gets out of the restaurant, and he says, I'm walking. I said, wait a minute, hold on, what do you mean you're walking? It's 100, it was literally, I took a video of it, 113 degrees.
When you dropped me off.
Yeah, dropped you off.
I have a night spot near where we live.
Yeah, but no, we went to a different restaurant, you and I, the other day. Remember we went?
Oh yeah.
We walked out of the restaurant. I said, "Come on, get in the car." He goes, "No, I'm walking."
Well, that's
wait, what do you mean you're walking?
That's about a mile from where I live.
It's 113.
Yeah.
He wants to walk at 113
It's a
degrees.
hard no
And what did
for
I
me.
say? I'm responsible for you.
I like walking. I like walking at night. I like walking at night.
I just amazed. And then you still do the ice pool or no? Do you do that when you're back home? Like
Home,
cold.
But I'm in the pool with Alice,
Right.
Alice, which I love. I'm in the pool. I was in the pool
Every day?
7 o'clock. No, 3 times a day.
Three times a day.
3 times.
What are you
a
doing
day.
there? Swimming?
Workout, a full workout.
Full workout.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least 2 hours a day every
2
day.
hours a day every day. Now, I remember during the winter you were getting in cold. The cold pool was freezing.
Well, you got a pool. You got a pool usually whether it's cold or hot.
Coldest days he's in there.
The coldest days he's in there. Wow. Well, you two guys, it was great to have you on. I've never had Albert on a full show like this. And check out, of course, Dom DeMarcos over there. And George will be checking in. We'll do some shorts with him down the line here. And it was just great to get him back on, see what's going on in this world. I love some of the stories. Last story, everyone asked me. People are infatuated with John Gotti. They are infatuated. It is unbelievable that everyone around the world on every continent I read knows who John Gotti is. As big as the biggest movie star in the world, John Gotti is just an amazing subject matter. George was in with him for how long in the same cell?
Over 2 years.
2 years, same cell. And you said that you guys had a little special treatment in there?
Special treatment?
Yeah, did you guys get some special food or special days?
Oh, we had a little booze.
Yeah.
Well, I got locked up for a sandwich, made the papers.
That's right.
And in the papers it said I was the connection for the commission trial, which is the biggest mob trial ever. I was the connection for food, booze, and hookers.
Wow.
And
That's what they said.
when Fat Tony read the paper, he came in the room with the cane and said, "What? I thought we were all right, Georgie." I said, "What do you mean?" "Oh, where's the hookers?"
Oh my God. But let me ask you this though. It's amazing that John Gotti would allow someone in his cell. Not saying that how did you get in with John Gotti in his cell?
Well, I was already there.
Okay.
And he got indicted on his first RICO. And 9 South was all the mob. We were on. You had 16 cells on a tier. Okay, so that's 32 guys per tier. And just so happens that I was in a cell with Joe Dockett, the famous IRA. He's a legend. Matter of fact, I have a street named him for New York. Well, he got an argument with a guard about something, so they throw him in the hole. My cell, I don't have a cellie. So John gets locked up that day. We know he's coming to that floor.
Right.
He's going to hit that floor about 8:30, 8:45. We know that. We know the proceedings. His guys, his crew was on they come in my cell. I'll never forget, I was reading. They says, "John's going to hit the floor. You got to take him." I says, "I don't know the guy." I said, "Why don't you give me," I knew Ernie Boy, I know Bruno Delicata, Mickey Boy, which I just passed away. I love Mickey. They're all my friends. So I said, "Well, yous know him. Yous right. Yous take him. I'll take one of you." That's what they say. "Oh, we don't want to live with him." You just don't want to live with him.
Wow.
Because in Italian we call it, there's a word, we call it got some gob. In other words, you can be this way one minute, then you be violent the next minute. So
Like Jekyll and Hyde, right?
John had that anyway. That's all right. And I had a whole crew of myself. They said, you got to take them. You got to take them. So I said, all right. So I said, I don't know what to do, you know. So I had some fruit. I made a fresh fruit salad. And I had a stinger, you know, a stinger you can make boiling water.
Right.
I figured I'd make him a cup of coffee.
Right.
You know, I know his head's pounding. I even had a couple of, commissary we could order aspirins. I had something. And sure enough, he walked in the cell by 8:30, 8:45. I stood up and I says, you got the bottom bunk. No. He said, exact words, I'm a convict. I don't take guys' bunks. I said, John, very simple. You're older than me. I'm younger than you. I'll take the top. And we had his fruit and coffee, and then we shook hands. Whatever's said in the cell stays in the cell. And we had a great 2 years.
Wow.
Great 2 years together.
That was the number one question. I asked the question. They asked some questions that everyone wanted to know.
I'll tell you what, on a Sunday, football season, he bet 10,000 a game. That was...
From the cell?
Yeah. No, I used to take the bets down to the turning room.
Wow.
10,000. How many games? 16, right?
Yeah.
He used to bet 160,000 every Sunday.
Wow. He bet every game?
Every game, 10,000.
How do you win?
He used to win sometime, lose sometime.
Wow.
Then I used to go tell what guy he got to collect from, what guy he used to pay. He was something else.
Yeah, that's great.
I loved him.
I know that was the number one thing that people have asked. But great. Okay, guys. But hey, special edition here. George and Al, appreciate it. John, thank you too for having them on. And we'll see you next time on WiseKracks.